All right, folks, welcome back. Thanks for joining us today. It is time for some release notes with Forrest and Jake. Today we've got version 5.10.0. So take it away, guys.
We do. Welcome. Hi, everybody. We have big news for this one. I think it's big news because this is something that's been asked about and kind of talked about since we released 5.0.0. So, a few iterations later, we now have Java 17 runtime support. And I asked just to get some bullets on what the world thought. I asked ChatGPT-ish, an AI. I actually asked Claude what some of those benefits were. And there's improved memory. They talk about improved memory, improved container handling, just a vast amount of improvements. The big driving factor is just supportability of Java 17. We're still compiling with Java 11, and it's still required to compile with Java 11, and that is actually driven on the Grails interaction and then bringing their products up to certain levels for us to be able to move forward from there. But we are now both testing, right? So in our test suite that we run as we release things, testing with Java 17 to make sure things are happy and working. In addition, our cloud offering is now running on Java 17. That went out with this release. We took the cloud service that we run and are using Java 17 on that. I checked in with the lead on that team. He wants a little bit more time before he identifies any significant benefits. But he did say it did get us off the you're still on Java 11 reminder every week that he got every week from our security team and other compliance areas. So
we can empathize with our customers who have been getting that warning flag from their security teams.
So everything should work. You need to be on. It's preferred. You got to be on 5.10 to do it. If it would still apply. I think what we used to say is you can try it. It will probably work, but we're not testing with it. So 5.10 is where we're officially testing with it, and we would officially support it at that level. If you're not quite ready, but you want to try Java 17, you can try it with others in the 5.x series, right, in the supported list there. So I think I jumped ahead of myself because it was such big news. I usually share the actual notes here. Let's get that going.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, the only users who need to concern themselves with Java 11 anymore, again, if you're pre 5.10, is if you're compiling the source code from the open source project. So if you're using the open source Rundeck project and you're compiling it yourself, that you'll need to compile with Java 11. That most of our customers are not doing that, so most customers don't need to worry about Java 11 so long as you're on 5.10 and onwards.
I would love to meet with someone that is and chat about I would assume that if they're compiling it, they're making changes or doing something unique there
for their hardening,
as opposed to using the pre-built packages. So reach out through the Google groups. You can tag my name and Rainer will loop me in and let me know I need to go answer a particular question. But yeah, if you are actually compiling the open source code in order to use it, as part of your official process, let us know. I'm curious. Beyond that, Jake has enhanced the runner install experience. Maybe you can give us some background on that a little bit, Jake.
Yeah, certainly. So prior to 5.10, when you wanted to add an enterprise runner, you would, if you're doing it through the graphical user interface, the GUI, you would click to create a runner, and then you'd be presented with a screen to download the runner package, the runner artifact locally. And so that would download the runner jar to wherever you were accessing Runbook Automation from, presumably your workstation, your laptop. And so that would download the Rundeck jar to your laptop, and then you need to transfer it to wherever you actually wanted to run that runner, likely on some server somewhere. And so it was quite a hassle, added quite a few extra steps for getting up and running. And if you wanted to deploy a runner into Kubernetes or into Docker, there were even more steps that you needed to do. So with 5.10 now, all of that is streamlined such that you are presented with the shell commands or the Windows PowerShell commands or the Kubernetes or Docker YAML to just go ahead and deploy on demand and not have to worry about transferring the runner or using the API to create the runner and get what's called the download token. All of that is handled for you. And so it just significantly reduces the steps required to create new runners. So this is really beneficial for new users and new teams that are getting onboarded into the product. It's also just useful for returning users who are just creating additional runners and wanting to be able to orchestrate across new environments. So yeah, significantly reduces the steps involved. Means you can get up and focus on actual automating much sooner. So I can walk through what this looks like in a demo if we'd like, unless there were comments for us that you wanted to make on this as well.
No, maybe we'll just breeze through some of the additional updates. It's not a terribly long list, but there are a variety of CVEs that we addressed. Those would apply, across both products here. And then, not seeing anything else that significantly stands out. We did deprecate this particular plugin, but it was actually not doing anything. That was also part of a CVE fix. So while this might catch someone's attention, it wasn't used, it wasn't documented, and yeah, let's jump into a demo and walk through that.
Yeah, I think there's some performance improvements by that runner reports fix that was noted there. So can you all see my screen now, or Mandy, are you able to?
Yep, add you in. There you go.
Awesome. So here we're in Runbook Automation, and we'll go into runner management within my automated diagnostics project. And now we'll go ahead and create a runner, and we'll say this is our our live stream runner. And leave the rest of these blank, but here is a new part of the install flow. And here you'll declare what type of runner you want to create, meaning like the platform as it says, right? Where are you going to be deploying this? And so if I choose Linux, and then I can kind of configure how I want to use this runner. In this case, I'm just going to target the runner itself. I'm not going to use the runner to target remote nodes. And now when I create runner, I'm brought to this screen here where I can download the artifact by copying and executing this command on my server. So I'll actually just do this in the background real quick so we can see this get up and running real quickly. And we still provide the download runner package. If you're doing a trial of Runbook Automation and you just want to get hands-on with the product, maybe you do want to download the runner onto your workstation and just see how the software works. So we still provide you that option here. So we'll go ahead and spin this up. So I copied the download and the run command. So I close and complete, and we can see that my my runner is now healthy. You can see that it's been added as a node. So when I go to my nodes here, we see my live stream runner node. I can target that with some automation, see the host name of the server that's hosting this runner, and now we're executing commands in our environment on this server that's hosting this runner. So we can see that here, just this EC2 instance. So hopefully that demonstrates how quick and pain-free that process is to get up and running. And you'll notice if we went through that process to create a Kubernetes platform runner, so we can say this is our Kuber runner, and you can select Kubernetes, do the same thing, and we're presented with the deployment YAML rather than shell commands. And in this case, you don't need to do anything else. You're given the server token and the client ID. Neither of these are particularly sensitive secrets, or just a way for the runner to communicate back with retrieving its particular tasks for the environment. In this case, we actually give you a deployment YAML, not a pod, and so you can actually declare the number of replicas that you want for this particular runner. So it's a nice handy feature of using Kubernetes for runners, is that horizontal scalability.
Nice.
So yeah, it again just streamlines the process and makes it easy for users to focus on the actual automating and less on steps for configuring.
Is there any code difference between those packages, or so customers may have already developed processes around this and they're using the download or the Linux version in their Kubernetes or their Dockers? Is there any difference between the runner code, or are we just presenting streamlined ways for getting it up and running?
Good question. So there's no difference in the actual artifact code, but we are beginning to put in some guardrails to say, okay, if this is a Windows runner, then it's always a Windows runner. And so as you upgrade it or make changes to it, if we detect that you've moved that artifact to a Linux host, we're going to throw up some warning signs. And I'll hint at some of our upcoming features around horizontal scalability of runners. We're going to kind of maintain those guardrails there, so that if you have a Linux runner and you have multiple instances of that runner, we want there to not be any unpredictability in job behavior by having some of those instances running on Windows, some of those instances running on Linux. So it's less so about the artifact code itself. The artifact code is the same, but it's more around the guardrails from the server side, from this, the platform side.
One more question: when you regenerate credentials for a runner, can you pick a new platform, or are you regenerating for the platform you picked originally?
Yeah, you're regenerating for the platform that you picked originally. So for a given runner ID, you're effectively tied to that platform. If you want to switch platforms, we recommend that you create a new runner and designate it appropriately. So again, it all comes back to, we want to provide the most predictable behavior of the product. And so if a given runner is installed on Windows, it's capable of PowerShell. It's capable of certain things that a runner installed on Linux is not, and vice versa. Not because of the artifact, but just because of the host system that it's running on. And so we want your jobs to behave as consistently as possible over time.
Nice.
For those that have been with a keen eye for details, you'll also notice that we added some updates to the runner list view that you see right here. So we show you, did you add it as a node and what that node filter is. We also show you the version and what that platform is that you chose for that particular runner. So just some nice additional metadata visible to the end user on this page, as well as on the system level runner management page as well.
Awesome. Very cool. Anything else this week?
I don't. I was just looking for. I know that coming up we have some OSS meetups,
Yeah.
and I was looking for the events real quick, and I think that one of them got moved recently, so I'm wondering if it's not.
Yeah, one of them did get moved, and the other one, there was one in Europe yesterday, right? That ran yesterday. Let me see if I have them from the last.
Here we go. I found the link.
Got it.
Put the link in the comment section, or at least I will try. If not, it has the power.
Did it go, or you want to put it in the private chat and I can copy it over?
Manny's gonna have to share it.
Yeah, no worries. I got it.
Said something about YouTube, or I don't know. But there's a Rundeck meetup. So these are open source meetups. We are bringing in both talks from folks inside and from customers using the open source product. This is not intended to be a shameless plug, but I will be talking at the North American one about some plugin development and using AI for that. But this one is going to be this. I think this was actually originally supposed to happen today. If you did sign up for today, it's been moved to the 27th, March 27th. And that is the North American one. There are corresponding ones, in the EU and the APJ regions that we cover. So keep an eye out for those on our events page. And I can't think of anything else that I have to chat about.
Yeah. Are you guys going to be at PagerDuty on tour?
Likely to be in the San Francisco one, yeah. So
awesome.
highly encourage our customers to show up and come say hi.
I will add those links in chat as well.
Additionally, just looking ahead, with our monthly release cadence, I already alluded to kind of our next big feature for runners and distributed automation as it pertains to horizontal scalability and high availability. So stay tuned for our next live stream and release highlights on that. Forrest, I don't know if you want to give hints as to what's coming on the content side in the next one or two releases.
The team is working on a few new plugin suites. The first one that will likely come out with the next release is in the database management realm. And then after that, we're going to be enhancing. We currently have some S3 plugins, out there in the open source world. We're going to be formalizing those so that they operate, under the same methodology and authentication mechanisms as our current enterprise plugins. So those will be on the enterprise product, as well as we have some new visuals coming to the product. I will defer that. You will get a very solid preview of that at the event that is on the screen at this virtual meetup. I'll be talking about how I used AI to build some UI plugins that added some pretty compelling visualizations into the product, and then just dropped them in. Only took even a day or two to get the first one. The second one took just a few hours because it had a proper sample to work from the start. Yep. So I'll leave it there. There's plenty more to talk about, and I haven't worked out all of the agenda and slides, but I may even try to just live create another type of plugin.
Oh wow!
Using AI.
Very exciting. And for folks who can't make that time, it will be recorded. So, yeah, we'll have that available for folks too, because that sounds like a whole lot of stuff I'd want to see, but I'll be away.
I think the last call out that we do is if anyone is interested in sharing jobs that they've written, we have a team that's interested in curating some of those, putting some of those out. The first stop to drop those in would be in our new forum setup, PagerDuty Commons, I believe it's called.
Yes.
Do we have a link to the Commons area?
I do. Let me pull that one up as well.
So if there's jobs that you're just particularly proud of, use case areas, or jobs that you're struggling with, that is a great place to go and interact with other Rundeck users, etc. And our champion Rainer.
Nice.
We should get Rainer on one of these sometime soon. He will be there to capture your feedback and also help capture your jobs and share those out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, when stuff comes in and we're not sure, it's like, is this a Rundeck question? And we're like, Rainer will be right there on it.
He's your best bet always.
Absolutely. Right.
So lots happening, lots coming with our upcoming webinar and our upcoming releases.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sweet. All right, that's all very exciting. Lots of things going on in Rundeck and Runbook Automation land. So good to go. Awesome.
Yeah, come see us at PD on Tour.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. Click on the link. It will be in April in San Francisco. And if you happen to be located in Tokyo or Sydney, we have dates there as well. For folks who are in Europe, London was last week, the week before. So those recordings are now available on demand. But you want to come see us in person and like interact with people and hang out. So check that out for those dates there. So we'd love to see everybody.
Yep.
All right.
All right, guys. We'll see you again for 5.11 when it's ready and all the other exciting stuff you got going on. So
sounds good. Talk to you later.
Yep.
Thanks,
Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.